guys.
So I don't like playing any 7-hander into Tournelouse. I never feel safe. You know, just at any point you can just be like, I drew an Ailerophobia into, of these Dreamlands, and you have -8 to your check. Sorry.
A 10 damage gauge throw is like, you have to react to that, right? You can't just say, hit me, I'm still ready for your cats, right? Like, you lose that game every time. So he forces you to flinch, he still gets 5 damage in on you, and then you have to worry about the cats coming up. You have to worry about everything else coming up too.
Yeah. On the other hand, Tournelouse is not doing any cute draw things that I can think of. So if the Shoemaker gets to control his game, he can definitely limit his hand size,
Yes.
Especially on defense. I don't think this Tournelouse has anything he can do about Shoemaker just obliterating his hand. So if he misses a kill shot, I think that the Ben Shoemaker is probably going to be able to send them. I think this is going to be, like I said, a volatile matchup where if somebody misses a kill shot, they're immediately dead, and either one's first shot can be lethal.
Yeah, can just barrel through whatever the opponent can set up to try to slow them down.
I'm a total partial judge, though. This is my protege. Got to root for him.
That is totally fair. Yeah, it is okay to pick favorites. I was hoping for Sam to win because I got to build that deck. You always gotta, as commentators, you always gotta have one horse in the race.
Gotta pull for your boy. All right, so here comes the lightning torture. He immediately gets the extra damage onto it, right? And if he wanted to, he can make it for 12. That's a thing that you definitely have to deal with immediately right out the gate. On the board though,
throw twice doesn't do anything, but don't do that.
Yeah. he certainly could.
Free advice.
Yeah. There isn't a whole ton on board that Tournelouse has, so it looks like you're going to get vanilla stuff. If there's an Ailerophobia later down the line, I think that the Ben Shoemaker probably dies turn 2.
Yeah, I think.
What are your thoughts on Sinister Malevolence being in this Tournelouse deck?
I don't know.
A remnants of the past?
It's a curious choice. It might be an autopilot of, he had this deck, he had been tuning it for a while, and he said, okay, he put it on the shelf, said, okay, this is where I want it to be, and didn't reconsider with the introduction of, or the removal rather, of Scarlet Meteor, which is like the number one thing that card predates Spawn.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, so he opts to take the 7 to the dome.
It is possible. We're just hoping to do 20 next turn. But with the Tournelouse 2 inside of our staging area now, I think that's actually going to be pretty tough. We toss one character in our card pool with Tournelouse, and now we've got Breaker 1 for essentially the rest of the turn.
Right, yeah. But if he had ended the storm, he would have tossed it first, and that putting 1 into his card pool means he's only going to be attacking one more time.
I mean, the backswing on Ben's turn.
Oh,
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. If he said, okay, I played my 4 difficulty attack, I got my gauge, I got 7 damage. Yeah, I'm just gonna chillax here, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna build 2 and hold a million cards in my hand. Build 1?
Oh,
wow!
All right, I want to say no fear, but this is a very this is not a no fear maneuver. This is a lot of respect being given to Shoemaker. Yeah. But that's kind of the thing you can do to answer when your opponent doesn't do much. You say, well, listen, I'm gonna give you all the respect in the world. I'm happy with this turn. I'm gonna play very conservatively here. If you want to shred your stage game,
just a great poke in general, right? If you're Ben, you get to take your pseudo throw, right?
Payon Thrust has to be like the most absurd card in that stat that has seen virtually no play.
Yeah.
It certainly does have some weakish symbols, right? Those 3 symbols are almost universally considered the 3 weakest in the game. I think water has gone up in a lot of people's eyes because
thanks to the Florida boys. Yep.
Yeah, thanks to Florida boys spamming water for the past 3 months, but
thanks to the DLCs, especially actually.
Yeah, the DLCs,
been incredibly fun.
Yeah, they have definitely helped out a ton. But it's something that I think, if all 3 of the symbols got some support that needed it, it would probably see a little bit more play.
Yeah, I think on its merits, Payon Thrust is a peer to Shadow Slicer. I think it is a similar quality of card to Shadow Slicer, and that card is banned as fuck, guys.
Oh, hit the poolside date. And he's gonna get 4 damage and -4 difficulty to the next combo attack. That's
no future spoilers, but back on Payon Thrust, I think this card's gonna its stock is gonna increase because of the fact that it has the punch keyword, and one of our next sets is supposed to be either Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, or excuse me, Street Fighter or My Hero Academia, right?
Sure. It's also got the magic charge keyword. This is
punch,
a combo
charge,
card, right?
messes with combos. I think this card is gonna see play all over the place in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks like we're hovering a Tournelouse 1 to put into the card pool just to hack a check. And I love this Tournelouse. I love the character design of Tournelouse when he's not just viciously obliterating you with Ailurophobia on turn 1 and 2.
Right.
Because it's so much interaction on both sides of the table, right? Where you get the gauge, where you get the push and pull over how much.
Holy smokes! This man. So one thing I will note here is that the Tournelouse is playing incredibly respectfully towards the Ben, right? He's like the next attack is coming in so hot. Like he wants to block the combo, right? He doesn't want to get into any situation where he isn't dealing with it. And also Jose sacks 2 poolside dates in a row up the top.
Sure.
And the next combo has -6 difficulty and +6 damage.
And 3 unblockable attacks too.
Yeah,
not to mention.
I think the best case scenario here is that he builds 2 after this.
Jose?
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense, right? Like we haven't been discarding these cards out of Tournelouse's hand. Getting this 3 momentum so that on our next turn, like everything is hunky dory. The fact that Tournelouse has 5 rated resources in order to block says that no matter how much damage this thing is going to do, it's going to be blocked.
Yeah.
This is every Payon Thrust in the deck.
That is so funny. Oh, he's blocking with a cat. Holy smokes. Makes the check.
Gotta get it out of your hand sooner or later.
Takes 2, but I mean, losing a cat means that he's either maybe he has a ton of cats in his hand, or that was the only block he had. Oh boy, howdy, a West Wind combo.
This is what we call one of them good ones.
That's gonna. So if he discards a card from his hand and makes the check, which he will, that's a multiple 2.
Is this presenting lethal?
It is definitely presenting lethal if he only has partial blocks. But I would hazard a guess that if he used an Ailurophobia to block with, he might have another one.
Yeah, I guess he blocks once. Jose rips a card down. He goes to 3 in hand. He blocks, goes to 2 in hand. So he gets to block twice.
Yeah,
and then only the last one can be forced through. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking, can he actually rip Tournelouse's entire hand away here? And that is not the case.
No, I don't think so. Oh, he tosses a mid block, a 0 mid block.
I guess maybe he had multiple uses. I don't know why you wouldn't 0 mid the Payon Thrust. I guess if you aren't interested in that block, if you're happy to fail it, then maybe that's why you blocked with the cats. So this is 200% getting full blocked here. Yeah, right. Probably by a goose.
Yeah, you don't toss the 0 mid unless you have multiple 0 mids in there.
But so this is gonna put Tournelouse on 0 cards in hand at 5 vitality when the turn ends.
So if he can't block either of them, he dies to find what's lost on the second one.
So let's see if
I think he survives this.
Here.
I think he's probably big chilling. Ooh,
the brothers.
If he draws one, he's got 3 progressive.
Blowing up and finding what was lost. Yep.
Yeah, so it's not lethal anymore, but that sure is putting him at 1 health if you can't block these, which is a very real possibility with 3.
I mean, it's virtually 6 speed. Like, that's not terribly fast. I mean, that's still blockable with anything. He'd have a +3 modifier and still succeed the check, although it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have destroyed my staging area with that. But
I mean,
Jose has big PP energy, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, this is some sweaty action on turn 2 from these 2 7 hand size characters. It's been a very yeah, as you're saying, very volatile game. We'll see, how we want to play it here. Because I think at some level, once you're in for this penny, like, you have to believe that Tournelouse's last card is an attack that he will kill you with if you don't do anything.
Gotta be an Ailurophobia. You block with the Ailurophobia of 2 of them. So I would absolutely at that point just
and
make him sweat.
God, but you only have one. Like, can you actually sacrifice your last foundation to rip a card out of your opponent's hand just to make him draw 7 it for his draw step?
It is certainly a question of like discipline, right?
I would have done it. I would have absolutely have done it. Because, like, if you draw a Westwind combo the next turn, you just yeet it at him, right?
Yeah, and now, so he keeps his last foundation. Tournelouse's hack does not give you the escape clause, so that -1, like, he was, if Jose wanted to play a foundation, it would have been on basically infinity difficulty. Just completely impossible to pass.
Choose
not to review, so obviously it was an attack.
Yeah, obviously not. I mean, there's an attack. Like, we don't know what it is, but there was an orange card face up in his hand right now.
I have to hazard a guess. I think it's an Ailurophobia. He wouldn't have blocked with the Ailurophobia before blocking with the goose. Unless he had 2 in hand.
I don't know why you don't block with the goose there. Like, it's got breaker 1, dude. You want to do that as soon as you can.
And he gets extra -1 to the check, right? You can enhance and then block.
It's like breaker 2, yeah.
Do whatever.
Yeah, it's breaker 1 immediately, and then it's also breaker 1 every enhanced step for the rest of the turn.
So go ahead, sorry, Chris.
My guess is that he held the Ailurophobias because he didn't see any of the Dreamlands, and so he built the 1 and passed, hoping to sack into the Dreamlands in the next turn, because it's hard to commit into the Ailurophobia, 30 damage attack unless it's unblockable.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. Like, that's a hand texture that it makes sense to play a poke, build 1 and pass. If your hand is like double Ailurophobia, a mediocre foundation block. He had a Never Struggles in his hand. We saw that he discarded, and then 2 Tournelouses. Like, you can't play Tournelouse as a form, right? It's just silly. Or you're never going to do that. Good night, Dust in the Wind. You're going to get flipped.
Yeah.
I guess he has to sequence. I mean, there are reasons you would sequence this wrong. Oh no.
Oh.
This is now going to be a very slow Ailurophobia instead of a fast one.
That's okay. It happens, right?
Yeah. I said he's going to flip this because I was looking at it kind of from my perspective of how do I cut off my opponent's resources, rather than, because I'm not a Tournelouse player, I don't have the built-in sort of game plan of, I want to Ailurophobia pump first rather than to maximize my damage output. I didn't even think about how it affected the damage output to do Tournelouse's enhance first there.
Oh, true. It is more, but I mean, he's at 16 health. How many goose
do you need? Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be lethal no matter how you slice.
Going to be
if he has a Dreamlands, it's lethal. It's there's no way he could block it with -4 to the check. Even at 1 speed.
I mean, -4 to the check, that's just 5 speed.
It's -5 right now, right? He doesn't need to put the Tournelouse into his card pool.
That's fair. You can even Stoic and Cynical for +1 speed before removing it for cats, because he has to remove something to cats.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's blocking on a 4. Oh.
Ouch. He's mousing over something. That's either a blue card or another attack. It looks like the check passed, so maybe this is another attack. But
another attack. Well, he didn't double it, which is an interesting thing. He was expecting to get blocked.
He might just have enough. Okay, he's got a whole herd of them.
Yeah.
Meow.
So, just a bunch of Ailurophobia in the top 30. Sometimes you are born lucky.
You love to see it. You truly do.
Although you can't really complain about being born lucky because Jose he drew all four. He drew all four.
Did he draw all four?
One.
He blocked with one. So that's top 10 cards, right? Or no, it's top 20 cards.
I mean, hey, like you put cards in your deck so you can draw them,
Of course, dude. Yeah, if you draw the Deletus, you yeet us.
And we saw that, like, even though Ailurophobia is an excellent card in the deck, it's not always the card you want, right? Like, he can seem like he'd have rather had another Storm on turn 2 than the cat.
Yeah. In that specific turn 2, he had an awkward hand,
Yeah.
So I wonder if I guarantee that the last card in his hand on that turn was an Ailurophobia, and I would have made that call had I would have just been like, you know, you're gonna flip this card anyway. You got a raw draw. You can't just hold your one attack that you've been clutching.
Yeah, it basically says that you had to skip a turn as Ben, and still put your opponent down to 1 vitality.
Yeah, I think either
7-handers can also draw cold. Like, that's a thing that they can do.
Yeah, I think especially Tournelouse. Tournelouse is running a greedy amount of actions and characters. Sure. You know, like that's an awkward carry. So he sideboards 4. The Tournelouse sideboard it looked like 3. Not quite sure.
Did not see.
But that one went to turn 3. You know, that it is what I thought was going to happen. You know, somebody missed a kill shot.
And Tournelouse went first, correct?
And Tournelouse went first there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that was that's kind of the turn 1 we also always talk about turn 2 kills like, oh, this is so miserable, but that's not what first player advantage really looks like in reality. A lot of the time it looks like that kind of game where because you went first, because you got the first turn 3, you forced your opponent to try to take heroic measures that were not necessarily likely to succeed or that were kind of sketchy, and that you had the luxury to play very conservatively to defend yourself against that explosion, even though you couldn't push for the win outright on your own turn 2. You were getting the first turn 3, so you were a big favorite from the start.
So Tam, if you were in Jose's position, because I think there's 2 ways you could have played that turn, right? Like I would have opened with Soul Calibur into Ageless and Wise, because then he has to have 2 Taguros to deal with it. Soul Calibur says I don't die to Ailurophobia anymore, right?
Correct. Yeah.
But he might just be trying to go for the turn 2, right? So it's either do you want the extra foundation or do you want the safety of not dying to Ailurophobia? And it looks
I think
like
it depends on the on how much gas you're trying to hit on turn 2, right? I think just like you said.
Yeah, I think he's probably trying to, you know, the Tournelouse built 4, right? Like it's 7-hander's supposed to. So he could reasonably strip that hand and deal the 20.
Oof.
Ooh. So the superior technique is going to be on a 5 if he has it. I'd still go for it, dude.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. Even if it's just
draw 3. I just draw 5. So it's going to be on a 5. Oh, hits it. Hits it.
Check. Gets to draw. Honestly, even just building out here because of all the advantage that you had is like it feels great. Like it feels really, really good.
I think he would be fine to build big and pass. Oh, Aether Leg.
Ooh.
Unless, wow, what a good
tanky leg.
The technology actually crazy inside this deck.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. What?
My first was a Fury build with Bakugo's attack. So this is an important 5 check here. Oh my god.
Wowzers.
Yeah. And we found Aether Leg was was extending our early leads. You know, just like the Cowboy Andy Foundation extends the leads in death builds. Yes. You know, I mean, building 2 more to be able to continue stripping your opponent's hand and also make your pivotal checks, because the air build is not cheap. You know,
+2 foundations here is enormous.
It's
right?
huge.
Like that's basically the value of his turn 1 build right here.
It's such a big attack too. Like you don't ignore the 5 high 8. You know,
these are spirit gun numbers.
Yeah. That card, it's for 8 damage.
Listen, you say you don't ignore the 5 high 8. This man just ignored the 5 high 8.
Yeah, I mean, but he knows he's gonna lose that card if Jose keeps attacking.
It's possible it's something like Call of the Dreamlands, you know,
could
where
be
like it just doesn't have a block.
True.
Yeah, I wonder if the best play there was actually to do the empty Tournelouse enhance, where you just enhance, put a character in my pool to jack up my. Oh, he doesn't have Tournelouse 2. What am I talking about? You can't do that enhance from the card
pool. He wishes for sure.
Turns out
it's possible build and pass might be the answer here.
With drawing 3 cards, there's no he doesn't have more. Oh, he has a Soul Calibur. He put another Soul Calibur in. Oh, you'll love to see it. And a C Salika.
Poolside.
And poolside.
That's my favorite card to see there.
Yeah, this is an absolute great position for Jose to be in. This says that the likelihood of me dying is significantly less.
Yeah, 3 cards in
because
hand,
of how
all the
much
speed reducts in the world.
Ben can activate Lokalua. But discard a card and -2 speed is fantastic. Like it's like you can't really ask for much more off of a singular enhance.
And as Tournelouse, I would be super spooked to go in next turn to do anything but build like 2 and pass, which is you don't want to do that anyway. You're kind of in a I'm fucked either way scenario, because if I attack, I'm going to lose 2 cards. You know, or I'm gonna lose 1.
I'm gonna be on. I'm gonna be from there. I have 5 cards left.
Yeah. So it's tough. You gotta.
It's a real bind. Yeah.
And he can't rely on Ailurophobia dunking because of Soul Calibur unless he has 2 Toguro Brothers in his hand.
It's real hard to. I mean, he could have a lot of juice here, and he could maneuver a kill with some good checks. This is a great start. And this isn't gonna break through all on its own, because there's still the Lokalua, there's still Dustin's gonna be up, but stun 3 here is real good.
Yeah, that's the lube, you know? That's the lube. You could feasibly have things, but I think the swing, you know, I don't think he can kill him without some sort of. Oh, jeez. He's gonna pick up Skull Barrier here.
Oh, and then that's gonna be the absolute stop sign, right?
Yeah. So that's fine, right? He can't cancel that with instability.
He could cancel with Revoke.
He could, right? But one of the wonderful things about the Air Symbol's defense is that it's very little. Like the only cancel that I can think of is like Ninja Outcast and Ageless and Wise. A lot of it is actually just like interaction tier, like Dust in the Wind, Power of the Abyss is there, Cisalika, even like Push the Limit is just like, I'm a 7-hander and I'm gonna punish you for building less than me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and he keeps Ageless and Wise up to stop to grow. Yep.
I love that he did not tap Ageless and Wise. You know, he knows that the Tournelouse deck is not pumping speed, and he can't deal with Soul Calibur without 2 Toguro Brothers up. So that's just an incredibly smart decision. And he might opt to not even shred his hand, because he can just keep his 6 foundations, and the Tournelouse is going to have to decide whether he wants more foundations or to try to defend with possibly 3 cards in his hand.
So the issue with that is it just forces the Servant of Ares play, right? Because you just pay the 2, flip the Ageless, and then now your Soul Calibur is in danger again.
But you force it, and he's going to block with a Skull Barrier, right?
Yeah. So this is a very real bind. We're going to see Tournelouse, you know, gets his opportunity to try to wiggle out of it, but he's going to need some good luck and a nice hand to even really have a chance to get through 19 Vitality here.
Well, and you telegraph whether or not you have the Toguro in hand, because if you use the Servant of Ares, you certainly do have the Toguro in hand to deal with the Soul Calibur, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a nice chess match we're having here between these 3 cards, plus the unknown factor of what's in the hand.
I agree. To the point where, like, it's possible that we even just make the Servant of Ares play just to threaten Jose to, like, maybe he doesn't use the Soul Calibur now. He has got to wait because he's trying to wait out the Toguro Brothers, or maybe I don't use Lokalua or something along those lines, right?
Right. I think the answer here is that if I were the Tournelouse, I would absolutely use the Servant of Ares, even if I don't have the Toguro, so that my opponent has to think twice about whether or not to use their resources, right? That sort of bluff can be incredibly powerful.
Correct. But then you have to weigh, is it worth 2 life for a bluff when I'm at 12 and I have a reversal coming at me?
Yeah, and I mean, that does take away an option from him too. If he's going to try to set up a win on one big dunk here at the end of the string.
Ooh. A Dreamland canceled the Skull Barrier
to drop it when it was played as a reversal.
Yeah,
love it.
Interesting.
So he checked a -1 against a 2 difficulty, and he doesn't have those resources. So
goodbye.
See you later, Skull Barrier. Wow, what a play.
We do get to draw a card though.
Yeah. Somebody remind him.
Oh, looks like he's not smart. Yep.
Jose's too good.
Figured it out.
He's a champ.
He is a champion tier player, man.
So like imagine Goose
has you go ahead, sorry.
Huh? I was gonna say, imagine Goose has another storm into another gauge attack here, and then he can +4 all of them. He can make one of them a throw, and it'll be a +8. Like
that's a lot of difficult checks, especially when you're opening lightning shot.
It is. It will be. I have to check 5s and 6s. Yes, I agree, because he doesn't have much of a staging area either. But you know,
and at this point, Ben's defense is, I'm going to strip your hand, right? Like that's what's going to happen. Is like you got to make your blocks. I have Cecilica plus. Wait, why is it staying there?
We don't know.
Yeah, he failed reversal. It is definitely gone.
Okay, yeah. And he does have the pull side. So any sort of like poke turn that isn't just dealing 20 in total like an Ailerphobia would be, the pull side is going to come into play, I think. Yeah. You know, if 2 8 to 10 damage throws would kill the Shoemaker, but with the extra 4 health from pull side means that he lives with 2 or 4 health.
Not to mention, we've got -2 speed with Lokalua while still stripping, right?
Sure.
And so we're getting at least 1 block off. I don't see how we don't.
Do you think he builds 1 and passes, or does he build 2?
I think you have to.
Yeah, you got to try to build that.
Yeah.
So 1 block here.
Oh, he didn't even make a throw.
So the thing that the air deck does better than our death deck, the death deck had incredible control over the opponent's hand, but what we found was that defensively you could just play out your hand, and the deck had trouble killing you. The air deck does not have that problem. Between powerful 6 Fumas to ace maneuvers. After
I gotta say, I really do not like this choice. The way that this played out from Tournelouse there. So it's really important, especially in a game like yours, to kind of have a plan and try to think through what's going to happen, what you want to do next. And just because playing that Dreamlands there is an incredibly valuable resource, and you see the cancel Skull Barrier that wasn't going to do anything. Like, I'll take 3 damage, whatever, I don't care. That's That's almost completely unimportant.
Yeah, that is interesting that he opted to get rid of the skull. He might have been like, he had this Ailerphobia, right? So he was saying I want to chuck this at you. I want to play this Ailerphobia, but I know I have to deal with the Skull Barrier, and he jumped the gun a little bit without thinking whether or not he was going to play the cats. So I would hazard a guess that he does not have an answer for the Ageless and Wise in hand. Like, he does not have a Tagura Brothers. So he was going to. Oh, he's just sending it in. Holy smokes.
He's saying you don't have the low block. That's what he's saying.
I think he's saying, listen, this is how strong my position is.
Yeah, you got to block my stuff.
I'm gonna spew this. I don't care.
Oh, he just gets another.
Like I bet he has another Fuma seal that's gonna be the same stats.
Yeah, I think that you're correct. And he's gonna just. Did he respond when he destroyed that card? Oh, he forgot to.
Here's gonna be a pair of 5 low for 18s.
Oh, and you're saying you can't block the weapon?
Maybe he doesn't have anything else, and he just has no choice but to go all in. I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, he does have the low block.
Well, I hope this wasn't a bricked out hand.
Yeah.
There could be a superior technique here. There could be nothing.
Soup deck would be neat.
Well, I think it's all over.
Your prediction that this will be a very volatile game is certainly come true.
Oh, it was all he had.
He has nothing, but he has the shields all the way up now. Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lord. Your throw is getting shut down. Your attack has flash. I'm canceling every ability on a weapon you have ever thought about playing in your entire life. Minus a ton of speed. Huge wide staging area. Never failing a block. Stun 3 doesn't matter.
So the problem with that is that he used the momentum on the weapon instead of having one and then one in the tank, and then also having another Cecilica flip in the bag.
Yeah, because there's pretty much nothing on the board that right now that we want to flip. I guess we can flip the future pull side and not feel bad about it.
Yeah. Well, you can. Yeah.
I can flip Dust in the Wind. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. You can also flip the Girl like any other to use it.
Yeah.
I mean. But I would have kept the momentum, because it's not like the Tournelouse is running enough weapon cards to warrant get rid of the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of fine grades of optimization. I mean, I think Jose was in a dominant position because we thought it was going to be an easy layup kill, and then he didn't have the easy layup kill, but he's still in a even more dominant position than he was going into last turn.
Ooh, interesting.
That's a nice one.
Huh.
Do we flash it? Do we Soul Calibur it?
How do you want to flinch? Are you going to commit Soul Calibur? Okay, that's a flinch, but I think that makes the most sense because that one with a ready net, can untap where High C's not.
So this resolves. He has to decide whether he's drawing or not before anything else, right?
Yeah. Although that's an incredibly bizarre rule that shouldn't work that way. But.
So here's the one thing we haven't looked at: Stoic and Cynical. After your opponent plays an ability that cancels your enhancer responsibility, cancel its effects.
Fair enough.
Stoic and Cynical cancels Ageless and Wise, which means that Toguro then stops the Soul Calibur. Which
but he still has a high seas window, and he has a second.
Easy.
Well, but why wouldn't you keep the second one for high seas in that case? Unless you have 3, like the most action heavy deck in my entire life.
I mean, this is an action heavy deck, but maybe he wants the high seas to come out here, and he's trying to open the door for something else later.
Maybe, but he just left the Toguro in his card pool, so he was digging, right? I think you high seas this.
I mean, he left the first one in. I don't know. I don't know what's in the hands that could justify this. This could just be a miscalculation in this complicated chess game.
Yeah, I would have canceled with that Stoic and Cynical card and kept the second Toguro for the high seas.
He also might have been trying to keep his foundation count up versus Ben.
That's my thought.
Fuck that. Coffee Samba. Draw 2 cards and never die to Ben Shoemaker ever again.
Is
ever.
More than
Not even in the next game.
Not even a little bit. Never again. You draw 2 cards for life.
I have never seen Ben Shoemaker discard even 2 cards in my entire life, let alone like 3.
Yeah.
Like not in 1 turn, not in 2 turns. It's never happened.
So none of this was in the enhanced step, by the way. So he could not respond Cecilica, which is really interesting. Holy shit, he had 3 Toguro brothers. What the fuck, dude?
That's why you play the blue cards.
So my god. What a fucking game. I hate UFS, guys.
Don't
say that. Don't say that. This game's rad.
Has this not been volatile?
Yeah, it has absolutely been volatile. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that just happened.
So I'm gonna say, like if we're handicapping this game, right? All of this chicanery has probably dragged Tournelouse's chances from like 5%. Like I'm not gonna make the election analogy.
So he
very low to like
sure. So he cancels the cancel again, right? But he's gonna have to have gas now. After this entire thing, there's got to be, this is a lot of lube for probably an ailerophobia.
And that right there, now, I wish he had saved the Toguro brothers to blow up the Ninja Outcast, because destroying that is much more impactful than destroying the Aegis and Wise. So if he was on his radar that he was ready to do that, well, it's committed anyway now. But all right,
yeah.
This is
Sun 5. So if he had 3 Toguro brothers
on everything for
and
financial cost.
True, yeah. If he had 3 Toguro brothers and a Dreamlands,
I thought that was the 4th Toguro brothers.
Oh, no, I think he checked that one. I think he did check that.
If it was the 4th,
that was the Shoemaker discard. Okay,
Jose should have been the gentleman and has gone to game 3.
yeah. This is all fighting. This is all fighting to recover. This is all fighting to break serve on his turn 3, which he saw as the result, a divine intervention that took all the attacks out of Jose's deck.
Yes.
Yeah. This would be really interesting if he builds 2 after this. Oh no, you can't tap Ben. Ben's your
master speed. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So do you think it's just an ailerophobia? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's an ailerophobia. 3, 4, 5, 6.
He's not a good player.
Taps face? He's got to keep Never Stumbles up, right?
Yeah, Never Stumbles also just says -1 to the check, right?
Oh, no,
after they play a damage penalty?
Right?
Ooh, I think that's the right call.
Yeah, cancel Cecilica.
This gets 12. This gets how much? How does it work? It gets 2 damage for each character in your stage, so it gets 8 damage up front. So it starts at 10.
It's doing 20.
Natural one shot. Okay.
It's 20. Oh, he taps.
Interesting
Wow.
choice.
Huh.
He might just have call.
Yeah, if he has a call in his hand, then he's just the luckiest player alive, right?
Yeah.
3 Tinkeros called the Dreamlands, and he had another one earlier in this game too.
Dave Wagner somewhere is smoking a cigar, wearing his top hat, just cackling to himself.
Yeah. Whew.
Dave's whatever Dave's doing, he's having a great time right now, and he's asking whoever he's with, was it good for you too? And they don't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, so he did have two characters in his discard pile. So this is raw 3 speed. I don't know that the air symbol has incredible blocks.
Well, the air symbol doesn't need incredible blocks when you chain death for the skull barrier, the second skull barrier.
Oh, true.
Perhaps.
I would love that. If Jose has a Power of the Abyss, I would be so happy.
That's a lot of dice, huh?
If this ended with the Power of the Abyss that got revoked.
And there it is.
Oh, so he did have the one.
And
block.
he had the call.
He shows.
Wow. Yeah, that's okay.
Damn.
Sometimes you run super hot.
Hey, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Efren. Jose, good luck in the rest of it.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Jose is gonna claw his way out of the boonie bin. Wow, what a hand! Holy shit!
That's a hand for sure.
Hey,
oh my god!
It is a game of luck as well as skill.